Great day, good people. My name is Aya-Nikole Cook, and I'm the owner and wellness curator here at Haji Yoga Salon. I'm here today to share a Haji Yoga practice with you. So let's begin seated. Today you'll benefit from having a couple props handy. I just have a blanket that I've folded here into a little rectangular shape, and I have a block, a cork block in this case. These two things will come in handy later. For now, take a comfortable cross-legged seat and choose to ground. Really helpful in grounding is simply looking to the earth. Resting the gaze on the floor can be really helpful for bringing in that sense of groundedness. So you're welcome to close the eyes or cast the gaze downward to limit the visual input. For today, let's bring the backs of the hands to rest atop the knees or the thighs with the palms open in a gesture of receptivity. We'll spend the first couple of moments of our practice simply being present with the body and the natural, easy, and free breath, what I like to call the grace that breathes you. Notice cool air moving in through the nostrils and warm air traveling out. And take the time to notice anything that feels significant about the way your body is breathing. In this practice, we value curiosity over judgment. Notice with awareness. And know that any amount of time spent in observation helps you because you're provided with more information you can use when it's time to cultivate the calm, smooth, and steady deep breath pattern that will support you through the remainder of your practice. So we'll shift now from the natural, easy, and free breath to a deep breath that we are cultivating one purpose, activating what's known as Ujjayi, or the victory breath. For Ujjayi, we create a slight contraction in the throat that narrows the airway and allows us to create a raspy, whispering sound heard with both the inhale and exhale. If you're new to deep breathing, I invite you to create an internal count in your mind so that as you begin breathing in, you're counting 1, 2, 3, allowing a slight pause, and then exhaling for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, little pause, exhale, 3, 2, 1, little pause, inhale, 1, 2, 3, little pause, exhale, 3, 2, 1, little pause. Of course, you can tailor the count to match your own breath capacity. Let's enjoy 3 more cycles of Ujjayi breath here. As you complete the next 2 deep breaths, I invite you to call to mind any personal and powerful intention you can have and hold for practice today. This is known as a sankalpa in Sanskrit. If you're not working with a sankalpa today, I'll offer the following. I am balanced. I am always coming into balance. I am always experiencing greater balance. Bring the palms together at the heart. We'll chant the sound of Om, which will seal in any intention you have and mark the beginning of our moving practice. So let's breathe in together. Bring the thumbs up and rest in between the eyebrows. And bow the head in toward the heart, bowing in with reverence to yourself and reverence for this practice. And we bow so deeply to earth and ancestors. releasing hands into lap, open the eyelids, and gaze down into the palms, breathing in. Exhale, feel breath in hands. And when you inhale, lift the gaze up toward the horizon. As you exhale, soften and bring the hands behind you. Lift the knees and lengthen out the legs to release the seat. Feel the backs of the knees open and give them even a little bounce. Get the blood flowing through the legs again and point and flex the feet a few times. It'll feel good to also maybe engage some circular motion that brings some energy into the feet and the ankles, and then go around the other direction with both feet. And once again, you can bounce the knees if it feels good, let the legs move apart and bring them back together. And let's come back to a cross-legged seat, this time taking what's known sometimes as the awkward cross. So it's the way you don't habitually cross your legs, so that you have better balance in the hips. Bring the hands against the fronts of the knees, getting a little grip there. And we'll begin with some seated cat-cow. So as you inhale, roll shoulders back, lift heart, and roll head back if it feels okay for the neck. When you exhale, tuck your chin, round the upper back, and concave the body. As you drop the head down, feel pelvis tilt. Inhale, rise up, leading with the heart, roll the head back to any degree that feels good, and when you exhale, curl in, pulling navel back to spine. One more, inhale, big lift of the heart, shine your heart light out, open your throat and your third eye toward the heavens, and when you exhale, curl into yourself. Inhale, come back to center, aligning so that ears are over shoulders and shoulders are over hips. We'll begin now to spiral the upper body, and we'll start with some really tiny counterclockwise circles. So moving slowly and mindfully, and being again curious and interested in how the body feels, and what sensations are inspired by the movements. And every time we complete a revolution, let's let the circle get a little bit larger, right? That's how spirals work. They start small and they spiral out and out and out, right? And then when you've gone as large as you want to go with your circles, see about reversing. So you're now going in a clockwise direction. Big circles that are getting smaller and smaller with every revolution. So going from a large circle to a medium circle to a small circle, and eventually to a really tiny circle. And coming to stillness. Sweep the arms out and land with the fingertips to the floor. Press all 5 fingertips down and keep the left fingers grounded. Notice I'm not mirroring you today, but stretch the right arm up. As you exhale, walk those left fingers away and flatten the palm, bend the elbow, and drop the shoulder. Create more length in right side as you inhale. And exhale to arc the body in the direction of the planted palm. Then press the hand that's on the floor down to rise up. And as you exhale, ground the right fingertips. Walk them away and plant the palm down. Bend the elbow, drop the shoulder, and extend the left arm skyward. Big lift as you inhale. Exhale, keep pressing that hand down into the floor and bend over to the right. It's a lateral stretch. Good. When you feel ready to rise, wait for the inhale, come on up. And exhale and take those fingertips down. Inhale and sweep the arms skyward. As you exhale, invite a twist toward the left. Bring the back of the right hand against the left knee. Ground the left fingertips behind you. Inhale, lift and open your heart. And exhale and turn your head to complete the twist, gazing back over the shoulder. Inhale, lift both arms up again, lengthen. Exhale and twist over to the right side. Back of left hand against right knee, right fingers pressing into the floor. Inhale, this lifted heart. Exhale, gaze over back shoulder. As you're ready, breathe in and lift your arms. Coming back to center, and as you exhale, plant those hands down to the floor. Now, let's bring the hands to the outer knees and draw the knees up. Set the feet close together and lay the legs to one side so you can crawl forward onto all fours. Set your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. And take a moment here to do any movements that feel like compensation for your body. We'll move into just a couple cat-cows here. So now lowering the belly As you lift the face, heart, and tail, breathe in and notice how the movement feels different while weight bearing on hands and knees. Exhale, round the upper back, sending it as far up toward the ceiling as you can overhead, and push knees and tops of feet as well as palms into the floor. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, lift the heart, look up, and when you exhale, create a dome in your back, tucking navel up to spine, tucking tailbone in and under, and stay here. Looking back, see your feet behind as you touch the toes together. Widen the knees apart. Press through the palms to gently begin lowering the tail in the direction of the heels as you're invited into Balasana, child's pose. Now, you might enjoy some rocking right and left, especially if the hips feel tighter today. And just a slow walk of the hands and arms further forward until you feel ready to lower forearms and elbows, tuck chin, and rest third eye to earth. Now, if the head is far from the floor, grab your block, bring it in, and lift the floor up to you, right? So now you can rest the forehead to the block. Keep reaching those fingers to the front edge of the mat. And breathe deeply into the space behind your heart. Feel your body on the earth. Feel the support of the earth underneath you. See, feel, and imagine light shining in through the back door of the heart. See, feel, and imagine this light cleansing out the heart space. And every time you exhale, allow the release of anything you've been holding in your heart that no longer serves you. Give it over to the earth and feel yourself growing lighter and lighter with every deep breath cycle. Now as you're ready, you'll begin to slowly rise with the next inhale. You'll make adjustments to your shape so that you can be better aligned. Knees under hips, tops of feet disappearing behind the knees, shoulders over wrists, coming back to all fours. Inhale and lower the belly while lifting the face, heart, and tail. When you exhale, you'll tuck the toes under and pressing the palms down and forward, move toward Adho Mukha Svanasana or downward facing dog. Now, focus on a lengthened spine here as you align ears and biceps. Keep the tail pointing up while the heels are rooting down. And if there's challenge in the backs of the legs, you're absolutely welcome to keep a bend in the knees. If you feel ready to explore the challenge, maybe straighten one leg at a time, rooting right heel down as right leg straightens, keeping a deep bend in left knee, and then switching out. So now left heel comes to floor as left leg straightens and right knee deeply bends. You might even enjoy shifting weight, more weight to the left hand as the left knee bends, more weight into the right hand as the right knee bends, and you'll feel for a little shift of hips right and left too that also opens up the side body. This is known as walking the dog. If it has value, if it feels like medicine, keep it going. If you'd rather keep the bent knees, then just keep sending the chest back toward the thighs. If you're ready to straighten out the legs, you can do so while grounding the heels down toward the floor. Big breath in. Full breath out. Now, bend both the knees deeply. Look up between the hands. And keeping these bent knees, take a series of small steps, staying low to the earth. Walk forward toward the hands. When you arrive near the front of the mat, press the palms up to the shins and flatten the back while firming the belly. Long neck, tuck chin, deep breath. When you exhale, bend the knees a lot. Give yourself a generous bend in those knees as you fold forward and down. Lay the backs of the hands to the floor for a little wrist therapy and shake out the head, turning it right and left, giving a nod up and down, surrendering anything you're holding in the head that you don't need anymore. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Now, lift your gaze, look up toward the front edge of the mat. This is where you might benefit from bringing in the blanket. It may not be necessary for all of us, but it is helpful if you're new to what's next. So see about popping up the heels and sliding the blanket in right underneath them. And then pushing the fingertips to the floor. See about lowering the tail down toward the heels. How low can you go? Just see. Be curious. Push into the fingertips and lift the tail up again. And just check in with the knees. We're doing a little warm up here. Just a little drill of lifting and lowering. Because the next time we lower the tail down, we'll bring the hands away from the floor and take them to the heart. Now you can be here with the heels resting on the blanket, or you can pop up onto the toes and the balls of the feet and draw the knees more forward. See what feels best for your body. And push into the feet now. As you take your next breath in, you'll begin to ascend toward heaven. Take your prayer hands up and overhead and see if you can keep the balance with your heels lifting up away from the floor. When you exhale, you can bring the heels down onto the blanket or keep them lifted as you bend deeply in the knees and lower yourself down. And take your time. We'll do this a couple more times. Big breath in, lifting us skyward, reaching our prayers up to heaven, extending the body fully, and exhale, the bend in the knees comes back and we descend toward the earth. Last time, push down to rise up. Inhale, springing skyward. And as you exhale, let the heels come down on the blanket or flat to the floor, and bend the elbows. Pin them back to better open the heart space and tuck the chin toward the throat, inviting expansion in the front body here. When you inhale, press the palms together again, and exhale, and if your heels are on the blanket, you can step flat to the floor and take the hands down to the heart. Big breath in, full breath out. A little business, you can move the blanket to the side, but keep it handy. And bring a slight bend to your knees. A little tuck to your tail. Commit the knees that they're moving in the direction of the toes, but that they'll stay stable as you now invite a little swing of arms, right and left. So the swing starts small, but eventually you start to gain a little momentum, and the arms fly out a little further from the body. They might lift up a little higher away from you, and you begin to feel the movement of air around the body, inspired by the swing of the arms. But the knees remain stable, and any twisting is coming from the midsection. Breathe deep and enjoy this liberating movement, maybe turning and looking in the direction that your front arm is swinging in. And then coming back to center, just slowing down, slowing down, slowing down, and coming to stillness. Good. Now turn toward the camera just for a better view, but you're welcome to stay positioned as you are. Let's root down through both the feet and establish Tadasana, which is mountain pose. Opening up the palms again, feel all your joints stacked atop one another, and feel your ears resting over your shoulders. Gaze down toward the earth for greater stability, and breathe in, feeling how rooted to earth you are, how vast and expansive you feel. When you exhale, shift your weight over to the left foot and bend the right knee. Swing the right toes around behind the heel, and you might keep the toes touching on the floor as you spin the right knee out. Take your hands together at the heart, and do your best to maintain your balance. See if you want to challenge yourself by lifting the right toes off the floor and hooking them right behind the ankle. Now, many of you that have been here before know that we're at Haji Yoga Salon, and it's located in the historic Bronzeville neighborhood of Southside Chicago. So we're in a busy part of the city, and there are lots of city sounds that you'll hear through this recording. So any outside sounds, we've learned to just allow them to invite us to go deeper inward, like that car alarm, right? So just staying focused on your practice and your breath as you now take the pose of Shiva, the message of Shiva. Let's keep the right elbow bent and hugged in toward the side body as we now flex at the right wrist and send the fingertips down toward the bent knee. Then simply send the left hand out at the height of the shoulder. And know that with this posture, which is a full body mudra, we're communicating that we lead fear with love through this left hand, and that we extend mercy and grace to all of our relations just as it is given to us through the right hand. Big breath in, and full breath out. Now, if you're still keeping your balance, great job. If you ever need to bring your toes back to the floor and reset, nothing wrong with that, right? Take this right hand that's swinging around in front of you and flip the left arm up as you arc over toward the bent knee, inviting another lateral stretch into our practice. Then inhale, come back to center, spreading the arms wide. Exhale that foot to the floor and bring those arms in at the sides. Big breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Once again, establish Tadasana by rooting down through both the feet. Establishing that groundedness by gazing down toward the earth. Shift your weight over to the right foot now and bending the left knee, get lighter, and the foot, swing the toes around behind the heel, and maybe keeping the toes to the floor. Just open out through this left side so that left knee is moving out and back in space. Send your tailbone down, pull your belly in, lift your crown up and take your hands to your heart. Invite a big breath in. Determine if you're better off with your foot on the floor, or if you want to lift up the toes and hook them behind the ankle, just at the bottom of the calf. Breathing in, and as you exhale, pointing the left fingers down toward the bent knee, big flex in the wrist, elbow deeply bent, spinning the right hand out at the height of the shoulder, keeping the heart open and the breath deep, maintaining your balance, maybe by keeping your dristi, your gazing point, to the earth. Breathe in, and breathe out. If you want the lateral stretch, sweep the left arm in front, take the right arm up and arc toward the bent knee. Any amount is good enough. Coming back to center, inhale, drawing left knee in, exhale, and put the foot down on the floor. Bring the arms to the sides. Invite a deep breath in, and a full breath out. I'll turn to the side now again, just for your reference, and inhale the arms up and overhead. Exhaling, open the knees, send the butt back in space and fold forward, rib cage over thighs. Let's bring the fingertips to the floor on either side of the feet and rest the head down. Soften, soften, soften as much as you can. Take every opportunity to soften any resistance showing up in the body. When you're ready, push into fingertips. They're just in front of the toes. And look up toward the front edge of the mat. Bring a deeper bend to the knees and step the left foot forward now as you extend the right leg back. Now, initially, the right leg is long and that heel is over the toes. If you'd like a more accessible version of our crescent lunge or our low lunge Anjaneyasana, you can bring the right knee down to the floor. If you need some support and padding for that knee, is when you open up your blanket or your towel and you bring it in to rest that knee on, right? So that gives a lot of support. Now, staying here or choosing if you'd like to challenge yourself a little more by maybe keeping the back leg lifted. Now you could choose this and start here and always bring the knee down if it feels like too much. Hugging the upper inner thighs together will support your balance as you inhale and float the arms up toward the ceiling. Lift the heart, draw the rib cage back in space, and hold the pose. As you exhale, see about taking the hands together and bringing them down to the heart. Keep the posture. Breathe in. As you exhale, take right elbow to outer left thigh. Leaning forward, hook the elbow outside the thigh, and let that connection support you in revolving the chest, stacking the shoulders, and keeping your prayer hands parallel with the floor. Look up over left elbow. Take another deep breath, pressing out through right heel, pressing down through sole of the left foot. When you exhale, come back to your center. Put the fingertips to the floor, and maybe lower that right knee down for a little bit of a rest. Push fingertips to floor, lift heart, inhale, top of foot coming down in the back. When you exhale, see about lengthening out that front leg, flipping up the toes, and maybe sending that heel further forward so you can descend left hip and keep them good and square. Feel the back leg line opening, feel the stretch in the hamstring, breathe in. If you want, you can exhale and fold forward over the front leg. Inhale, roll yourself up. Exhale, look forward beyond the toes. Plant the foot down, hug the knee back, or the heel back so it lands under the knee, and prepare to come back into the posture, either with knee down or knee lifted. So we'll sweep the arms up, inhale. As we exhale, we'll take the palms together and down at the heart. We'll inhale here to prepare, and exhale to come again into the twist, elbow outside knee. Maybe you're trying it this time with the back knee down, and noticing there's greater ease. You can always work here and eventually work up toward the standing version of the pose. There are always options and you always have choice. As you feel ready, stay here and think about a transition of stepping right foot forward to meet the left so you'll land in a twisted chair pose, Utkatasana. This would begin here by turning the back toes under and lifting the back knee. Rounding through the sole of the left foot, you could take 2 steps forward or perhaps bending that right knee 1 step forward and then stay in the position, revolving a little bit more. When you inhale, come to center, and as you exhale, float down and release the heavy head. Big breath in. And full breath out. Let's inhale with the fingertips on the floor in front of the feet. And step the right foot forward now. And extend the left leg straight back to the back of the mat. Now lowering the hips as we extend that left leg long. You're welcome, as I mentioned before, to bend deep in the left knee. Or if you want, just keep it lifted as we did on the other side and float the 2 arms up, inhaling. As you exhale, see about stabilizing, hugging upper inner thighs together, maybe sitting a little deeper. Press palms together and bring hands to heart. Breathe in here. Exhaling, keep elbows wide and begin the revolution. That brings elbow outside thigh. Press together. Bring palms parallel with floor and gaze up over right elbow. Deep breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, come back to your center. And exhale, fingertips to the floor. We'll do the same thing that we did on the other side, lowering that left knee down for a little rest. Top of foot coming down, inhale. As you exhale, swing your hips back, lengthen your front leg, slide that heel forward and flip up the toes. Let the right hip descend toward the earth and squeeze upper inner thighs. Breathe in, and if you want the forward fold, take your body down, belly, then chest, then chin, and roll yourself up slowly. Inhale. Exhale, bring the bend back to the knee. Hug the heel back so it's underneath the knee. Create that beautiful right angle in the front leg, and prepare again to float the arms up, inhaling. As you exhale, press the palms together, bring the hands down toward the heart. Elbows spread wide, sternum moving toward thumbs, breathe in, exhale, and take elbow outside knee. Press together. Palms are parallel with the earth. We're gazing over right elbow, and we're keeping our balance. You're doing fantastically well. Turn the back toes under maybe. See if you want to first lift that back knee and hold here, getting stable, before stepping that left foot forward and doing your best to maintain your twisted chair. Look over right elbow. And inhale, releasing everything. Come back to center. Full forward fold, softening, let everything go. Then inhale, half lift. And exhale, taking the feet out wide. Let's heel toe them apart. And slowly lower the tail toward the floor. Now you can sit again on the edge of your blanket if it's helpful. As now we come into Baddha Konasana, bound ankle pose. So for this posture, you'll bring the soles of the feet together and open the knees out wide. You can hold the ankles or clasp the hands over the toes. If there's tension, invite a little bit of movement in the legs. Sometimes we call this butterflying the legs. If there's a lot of challenge and you have 2 blocks handy, you can bring one block to wedge under your thigh and one under the other side, or taking 2 towels, you can roll them to create a softer perch, for your thigh to land on. So do what you need to do to be supported. Sometimes we have to get creative because we don't always have matching props or even special yoga props. Sometimes we have to use what we have at home. So either hands over ankles or clasping hands over toes, but sitting and breathing and allowing. You are allowing the weight of the leg bones to move down toward the earth any amount. And you're not so much forcing anything as much as you are, as I said earlier, allowing. Big breath in. Full breath out. Staying with the ujjayi. releasing the resistance. And welcome the expansion. Now, you can stay upright if this feels like the medicine your body needs. If it feels like a forward fold is accessible for you, you can welcome that. You might just bend the elbows and holding the ankles, stretch the elbows out wide to the inner knees. From here, you can simply tuck your chin and rest the head down in the direction of the feet. You can also bring the forearms against the shin bones while still holding the toes and use this connection of arms and legs to draw your upper body further forward and release your head a little further down. So choosing one of the many possibilities and inviting 2 or 3 more deep breaths in whatever shape makes you feel most expanded. We choose whatever feels most in alignment with our intention. One more inhale. One more exhale. And slowly as you inhale, roll your body up. And with your next exhale, keep your eyes to the floor, especially if you tend to get dizzy after bringing the head lower than the heart, and plant your palms behind you about a foot. From here, let's draw the soles of the feet to the floor as the knees lift high, and separate the feet out wide. I'd say about as wide as your mat, yeah? And this is presuming you're facing the front of your mat. You can hang the pinky toes over the side edges. Push down the palms, fingers facing in toward the back of the body, and hug the elbows toward each other in such a way that the heart lifts. Big breathe in. As you exhale, lay 2 knees over to the right side. Slow, mindful, surrendering of the weight of the leg bones. And as you breathe in next time, the knees will lift up and the feet will flatten to the floor, and that exhale will take the knees down on the left. Keep working through this dynamic posture, sometimes just commonly known as a windshield wiper pose. Inhales are for uplifting, and exhales are for releasing and grounding. And it's natural in this posture that the sit bones are kind of walking away from the hands each time you go right and left. And that's okay. But when you feel as stretched out as you want to be, you'll let this go. And we'll come now to stillness with knees lifted high. And this is where the block could come in handy. So bring it in close so you have it accessible. And push the fingertips to the floor as you hug the heels back in the direction of your tail. And pushing the fingertips into the floor to give your bum a little bit of a lift off. Lift up and rock your way forward. See if you can come into a full squat from there. This is Malasana or garland pose. Sometimes I benefit from just swaying right and left, rocking a little bit so the hips are more willing to acquiesce into the shape. The heels toward each other and the toes out, that's mandatory, right? Tail down. Now, if you feel like this is a lot for you, you'll lift the tail and slide the block in underneath. And the great thing about the blocks is they have 3 potential heights. So you might start on the highest height, let yourself be supported by the block. From there, you might feel inspired to widen the feet a little more and to press the arms out inside the knees. Press the knees simultaneously in against the arms. Move the heart forward and breathe deeply. Now, if this height of block feels like a little too high for you, you can go down to the second height. And it's a whole different position. Still having those arms in front. You know, they're inside and they're pressing out against the inner leg line, yeah? And there's even a 3rd height to the block, that's lower. And you can sit there. And if you don't need the block, you'll slide it out from underneath and support the full weight of your body on your feet with your fingertips resting out and down on the earth. Breathe in here and breathe out. Feel the energy of the earth supporting you. One more inhale and exhale. Keep the left fingers rooted to the earth and use your next inhale to reach out a little further and lift that right arm skyward. Now there's a slight turning toward the red side that happens in the upper body, but this arm keeps pressing against the leg, and the leg keeps pressing into the arm. And you'll gaze up toward the outstretched palm, and as you exhale, let that hand come down. Touch all 5 of those fingertips to earth. Shift your weight a little bit. Press fingertips down, press arm into inner leg, and as you feel ready, lighten up on left side and take it high. Inhale that arm into the air. Look up toward it. Deep breath. A little bit of a twist, a little bit of a lateral stretch happening. Big hip opening. Welcome it. And as you exhale, take the hand down. Big breath in. And full breath out. Sweep the hands behind for support. Move your block out from underneath you if you're on one. And extend your tail to the floor. Bring the legs together. Squeeze them as you wrap your arms around your legs and invite a big breath in. And a full breath out. I'm going to turn toward the front edge of your mat, my mat, just for a better view for you, and extend the legs out. Inhale deeply with the legs together as if they're zipped up the midline. Plant your palms outside your hips, flex your feet. Big breath in. Big breath out. As you inhale, slip your right hand under your right knee and guide it up. Pull the heel back in the direction of the tail. Holding the ankle open out from the hip socket, connecting foot and inner thigh together. And put the hands on either side of the front knee. Well, first you might take your hands to your rib cage and revolve the rib cage to the left a little more, so that when you fold forward, the midline of the upper body aligns with the extended front leg. Breathe in. And exhale, send your sternum forward toward your toes. Plant your elbows and forearms to the floor if you'd like, or hold anywhere along the leg. You might even clasp around the big toe or clasp around the full foot. Drop your shoulders, lift your heart, gaze to your big toe. Breathing in Aya-Nikole. Breathing out. Keep rooted in the tail. Keep lengthened in the left leg. Use every inhale to really lengthen the spine and check in with the spinal integrity. And when you exhale, see about any new possibility for folding forward, for sending your sternum more toward your toes. If it feels better, if it feels like medicine for your body, you might just soften everything and feel again the spread of the back spine as you lower your head down to your knee. Aya-Nikole is head to knee pose. So see how you do here. And take another deep breath in. When you're ready, inhale, slow lift, rising up halfway. As you exhale, soften and release. Take hand to outer knee, guide it up, and then extend that right leg long. Notice the difference between the 2 sides of the body. Breathe deeply as you prepare to shift, and scooping left fingers under left thigh, draw that knee up with an inhale. Exhale the heel back in the direction of the tail and open out from the hip socket, pressing foot and thigh together. Revolve the rib cage to the right and plant the fingertips down on either side of front knee. Flex right toes and breathe in. As you exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Send your belly out over your thigh. Send your chest out over your knee. Send your heart in the direction of your toes. You can plant the palms down, rest the forearms to the floor if that feels accessible, or hold anywhere along the leg line, right? And breathe deeply. The breath is the constant. Drop your shoulders. Once you have a bind, see about sending your sternum further forward toward your toes. Big breath in. If you want, as you exhale, soften and fold and rest the hip down. Any amount is a beautiful thing. Honor what's possible for your body today. Whatever it is, it's good enough. Another breath in. Maybe a deeper breath out. And when you're ready to rise, do so slowly and mindfully, inhaling up. And exhale, draw that knee up. Extend the leg long. And breathe in. Breathe out. From here, let's flatten the feet to the floor. Bend the knees and scoop the tail forward toward the heels. Then you come down on your back. Take your time, easing your way down. Rest your head. From here, hug your arms in close at your sides with your palms down on the floor. See if you can feel for a connection of fingertips to heels. You might have to walk heels back to find that. What will help also is lifting the low back off the floor so that you're creating this arch that pushes the tail down, and you'll be able to just slide your arm in under there. So you're kind of making the trunk a little bit shorter by exaggerating the arch in the back so that you can feel for the alignment of knees over ankles, of fingertips and heels. Push down the palms, feel the shoulder blades firm underneath you, push into your feet, and when you inhale, you'll scoop the pelvis up, draw it toward the ceiling, inhale. Then pause wherever you are to exhale. Keep the lift. Inhale and push into your feet to see about lifting a little bit higher. Maybe the chest is moving more toward the chin now. As you exhale, bring everything down, taking your time. Light tap to the earth. And again, we'll push into the feet, scoop the pelvis up, and you'll avoid turning your head in this pose. Just listen to the directions and do your best. Pause where you are, keep the lift, and exhale. Inhale and see if you can lift a little bit higher. Exhale and bring it all down. Now one more time, same way. Push into the feet, inhale, scoop the pelvis up. Any amount of lift is a beautiful thing. Pause there and exhale. Inhale, apply a little more effort. Just find a little more lift. And as you exhale, soften everything. And come on down. Now keep the feet right where they are. And inhale the arms up and overhead. Keep reaching until the backs of the hands touch the floor above you. Exhale and see if you can soften the low back down. Inhale, create more reach to the fingertips. More length in the side body. And as you exhale, bring those arms down. Now let's connect those two movements. So when we inhale, we'll lift the pelvis and float the arms up and overhead. Keep reaching until the palms or the backs of the hands touch the floor above you. Exhale, keep the lift. Inhale, reach a little bit higher. Reach the fingers away, and as you exhale, bring everything down. Same thing again. Inhale, lift the pelvis, lift the arms, expand, up and beyond. Exhale, stay here. Inhale, lift a little higher, reach a little further, and exhaling, everything comes down at once. Good, and last time. Inhale, lift, rise, reach. Exhale, pause. Inhale, reach. Exhale, come on down. Great job, good people. Let's widen the feet apart as wide as the mat. Let pinky toes hang off the edges. Hug the two knees toward each other. Bring the arms out wide with the elbows at the height of the shoulders and the backs of the hands resting on the floor. Breathe in. As you exhale, let the two knees fall to the right side. Allow the twist in the midsection. And let's do this dynamically. Inhale, the knees lift, the feet flatten to the floor. Exhale, over to the left side. If you'd like, you're welcome to turn the head in the opposite direction that the knees are going in. And see if that feels like the medicine your body needs today. Inhale, lift, come ahead, bring your head back to center. Exhale, two knees to the left, and you look to the right. Inhale, two knees up, head is centered. Exhale, and look to the left as knees fall to the right. Now you could stay here, simply allowing the weight of the leg bones to be drawn toward the earth. Or if you'd like to inspire more grounding, take the heel of the right foot to rest over the outer thigh on the left leg. If this feels like medicine, stay here. If you try and it doesn't feel good, be willing to let it go. Yoga is not about pain. It's more about expansion. Deep breath in. Full breath out. One more inhale and exhale. When you're ready to inhale again, draw the head back to center, lift the knees. And as you exhale, lead the legs to the left, turn your head to the right. Chances are the two sides of the body tell two different stories. So honor whatever the truth is here. If you put the heel over the outer thigh on the other side and it feels good on this side, welcome that. If not, that foot is staying on the floor and you're just trusting your body. Trusting that you're getting the most appropriate stretch for your body right now. Deep breaths. And when you're ready, the knees lift, inhale. Exhale, yogi's choice for final posture. You're welcome to heel toe the feet together and hug the knees in. Maybe it'll just feel good to bring the hands to the shins and to lift the head and shoulders off the floor, rounding the back, rocking and rolling a little bit right and left. You could also keep the head on the floor, hold the backs of the thighs, and flex the feet coming into Supta Dandasana, reclining staff pose. If you don't like to end your practice without happy baby, welcome that as you bend your knees, spread your legs open wide, and reach the arms inside. Tuck fingers around outer toes, or outer feet, pardon me. Then sending the knees in toward the armpits, you'll reach the soles of the feet up toward the ceiling, but keep your tail anchored down. It can be nice to rock a little bit right and left in a happy baby pose, feeling the deep tractioning of the thigh bones and the hip sockets. If none of those appeal to you, choose a shape that does, or simply prepare for Shavasana. Take your time, lower your feet, lengthen your body. I think the bare minimum amount of support that we can benefit from in Shavasana is just taking that blanket, rolling it into the shape of a bolster, and placing it under the knees. So that there's a little bend in the knees, a little bit of flexion is super helpful for creating more length in low back, especially if you know when you lie flat on your back, there's tension there. You might give the back the tail a scoop, and bring the low back more into contact with the floor before spreading the arms out about 45 degrees away from your body with your palms turned up. Of course, you can bring in any other props that feel good for you. And if you are a yoga nidra practitioner, it might be nice to set up a nest for yourself and just to let this practice inspire you to rest deeply. Let's take a deep breath in. Open the mouth to exhale and clear. Now we'll soften the face, close the eyes, and unclench the teeth. We'll begin again to surrender and witness the natural, easy, and free breath as it moves in and out through the nostrils. In Shavasana, we release mind control, muscle control, and even breath control. We lay all of our doing down so that we can rest in being. For the next 7 to 10 minutes, I invite you to welcome stillness and rest, to welcome peace and ease in Shavasana. I thank you for joining this practice with me today. I'll see you next time, hopefully here at Haji Healing Salon or again in this recorded space.